I'm 81 years old, and for most of those years, for most of the years I was working on something that I never once questioned. I was building a case that I was enough, a case that I mattered, a case that my life counted. I built that case with promotions, with a house, with a good reputation in my community, with money in the bank and children who turned out well, and a lawn that was always trimmed. And here's what it took me 60 years to understand. You cannot live inside a case you are building. You can only live inside your life. And I was so busy constructing the evidence that I was worthy of a good life that I never once stopped and actually lived it. My name is Arthur. I am 81 years old. I had a wife for 44 years. Her name was Carol. She died 6 years ago, in October, on a Tuesday morning, when the light in our bedroom was still gray and soft. I had a career that I gave everything to. I had children who are now in their 50s and living their own lives and calling me on Sundays when they remember. And I have a lot of quiet now, a lot of time to sit with things. And when you get to my age and the noise finally stops, you start to hear very clearly the things you could not hear before. I want to tell you what I hear, because I think most of you sitting there watching this right now, are making the same mistake I made. And I do not want you to be 81 before you figure it out. Let me tell you about the version of myself I carried for 60 years. I grew up the third son of a man who worked a loading dock his entire life. He was not a cruel man. He was not a kind one either. He was a tired man, a man who came home and sat in a chair and did not have much left for anyone. I loved him. I also spent a very long time trying to make him look up. You know what I mean by that. You may have had your own version of someone you were trying to make look up. So I worked. I studied. I pushed. I was relentless in a way that I told myself was ambition, but I understand now was something closer to pleading. Look at me. Is this enough? Am I enough now? He never said yes. Not directly. And when he died, I was 38 years old and a regional director at my company and the father of 2 young children. And I sat at his funeral and realized I had spent the previous 20 years running a race toward a finish line that had never existed. That should have been the moment I understood. It wasn't, because here's what I did instead. I just moved the target. I stopped trying to prove myself to my father and started proving myself to everyone else. The community, the company, the neighbors, my children. Carol, I traded one audience for many, and I kept building. Keep adding to the case. Keep presenting the evidence. See how hard I work. See what I provide. See what I've made of myself. My career grew. We moved to a bigger house. We took real vacations. By the time I was 55, I had everything I had told myself I wanted when I was 25. And I was still, somewhere underneath all of it, waiting for someone to tell me it was enough. Do you know that feeling? Not the wanting of things. The deeper thing underneath the wanting. The waiting. Carol saw it before I did. She told me once. We had been married maybe 25 years. The kids were teenagers, and I had just gotten a promotion I had been chasing for 3 years. She told me, Arthur, you are never here. Even when you are sitting in this kitchen, you are somewhere else. You are always somewhere else. I told her she was wrong. I told her I was doing all of this for us, for the family. She looked at me the way only someone who has loved you for a long time can look at you. She said, you are doing it to feel something, and I don't think it's working. I got up from the table, and I went back to work. That was in 1993. I can still see the pattern on our kitchen table from that night. I remember it with a sharpness that I cannot explain except to say that the body knows which moments matter, even when the mind refuses to. Here is what I did not understand for 60 years. I did not understand that the running and the building and the proving were never going to give me what I was looking for. Because what I was looking for was not a promotion. It was not a bigger house, or a better title, or more respect from my neighbors. What I was looking for was permission. Permission to stop. Permission to just be here. In my life. Without earning it first. I did not know that was what I needed. I thought the thing I was running toward would eventually feel like enough, and then I would be able to rest. But it doesn't work that way. The goalposts never stop moving. Not until you decide to stop chasing them. And I did not decide. I just kept running. Until I couldn't. I retired at 68. And within 6 months, I was the most uncomfortable I had ever been in my life. Because without the work, without the building and the proving and the case I was always constructing, I had nothing left to hide behind. I had to sit in my house, with Carol, with myself, with 60-something years of a life that I had built very carefully and never once actually inhabited. Carol was sick by then, not yet dying, but beginning. We knew something was wrong before the doctors confirmed it. And in those years, those last years with her, something started to shift. I don't know what to call it. I started to be in the room, not planning, not half somewhere else, not adding to the case, just in the room. We would sit on the back porch in the evenings, and I would not be thinking about what I had accomplished or what still needed doing. I would be watching the light change on the yard we had had for 30 years, and I felt something I did not have a word for. I want to say peace, but it was more specific than peace. It was presence. It was the feeling of actually being inside your own life. And I remember thinking very clearly, where has this been? Why did this take so long? I want to tell you what I finally understood. It is not complicated. I warn you, it may sound simple, but simple is not the same as easy. If it were easy, I would not have needed 60 years. Here it is. You are not building toward your life. You are already in it. Right now, today, whatever age you are, this is not the rehearsal. This is the performance. And most people are so busy building the set that they never walk out onto the stage. The life you are living right now. The Tuesday evening. The ordinary dinner. The face your spouse makes when they are tired. The sound your kid makes when they laugh. That is the whole thing. That is the entire point. Not what you are working toward. Not what you will have once things settle down. Let me say this more directly, because I know how easy it is to hear something like this and nod, and then go back to running. I know because I nodded at things like this for decades, and went right back to running. So I want to make it specific. If you are waiting to feel like enough before you let yourself rest, you will wait forever. Enough is not a destination. Enough is a decision. And it is a decision that only you can make. No achievement will make it for you. I promise you that. I have been to the top of every mountain I climbed, and I stood there, and I waited for the feeling. It did not come. The feeling you are chasing is not out there. If you are spending your best hours proving yourself to someone who may never say yes, I need you to hear me on this. Some people are never going to tell you it's enough. Not because you haven't earned it, because they cannot give what they do not have. My father could not give me what I needed from him because he had never received it himself. He was running his own race, fighting his own war, proving his own case. We are all carrying someone else's unfinished business. The question is when you decide to put it down. I put it down at 73. I wish to God I had put it down at 30. And I want to say something about the people who are here. The people in your life right now. The ones who are still alive. The ones who still have time to be with you the way you have not let them. Carol sat with me for 44 years while I was somewhere else. She waited. She was patient in a way that I now understand was not patience so much as hope. She hoped I would arrive. I arrived late, but I arrived. We had about 4 good years at the end. Not good in the way of health or ease. She was sick, and it was hard, but good in the way of present, really present, for years out of 44. I do not say that to devastate you. I say it so you do not make the same calculation. The people in your life are not waiting until you finish building. They are living right now, alongside you, waiting for you to join them. You might be watching this and thinking, I am not like that. I am not that checked out. Maybe you're right, but ask yourself honestly, when was the last time you sat with someone you love and you were completely there? No phone nearby, no part of your mind on something you still need to handle, no performance of being present, actual presence. When was the last time you did something for no reason except that it was happening and you were alive, and that was enough? When was the last time you felt like you did not need to earn your place in your own life? If you have to think hard about those answers, you know what I am talking about. I am 81. I have a quiet house and too much time and not enough of it left. I also have something I did not have for 60 years. I have the experience of being inside my own life, not building toward it, not earning it, not proving I belong in it, just inside it. It took me 60 years to get here, and there is grief in that. There is real grief. But there is also something I want to pass across to you right now, as clearly as I can. You do not have to wait that long. The permission you are waiting for, no one else can give it to you. You have to give it to yourself. Stop building the case. The verdict doesn't come from the outside. It never did. I don't know how much time I have left. Not much, if I'm honest. But I know this. The years I lived inside my life, even the hard years at the end with Carol, even the quiet years since, those years are worth more to me than all the decades I spent somewhere else. Do not wait until something forces you to arrive. Arrive now. Your life is happening right now. Today. This ordinary, imperfect, unremarkable Tuesday. This is it. Don't let it go by while you're building something to prove you deserve it. You already do. You already have. If any part of what I said today touched something in you, something you have been carrying a long time without naming it, I would like to keep talking with you. Come back. There's more I want to say before I run out of time to say it.